last week's class? Do you have any remembrance?
We talked about the different material modes, like the mode of goodness, the mode of passion, the mode of ignorance.
Correct. Correct. Yes. So any specific thing about any mode, anything you remember?
The mode of goodness is like a way or a springboard to heavenly modes, and like the mode of ignorance is like the opposite of the mode of the good mode of goodness. Everyone is influenced to different extents by all of the modes, and the influences change over time, of course. You gave a metaphor comparing like these modes to a prison.
Yeah.
That trap you from moving beyond.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Correct. Yeah. So we compared like mode of ignorance, passion, goodness, and like C class, B class, A class, jail, influenced by different degrees. Yeah. So somebody mode of ignorance means quite a more grip of material nature's influence, predominantly mode of ignorance. B class jail is more like influenced by mode of passion, and A class jail is like maybe influenced by mode of goodness. But if somebody takes to spiritual practice and takes the shelter of God, then he can transcend these influences and can come out of these influences and be situated on the spiritual platform that is called Shuddha Sattva platform. It's called transcendental platform. So the transcendental platform is a state in which a soul is freed from the clutches of material nature and is functioning in his natural healthy position of being in transcendental state where he has pure love for God, and there are no inhibitions, there are no vices, there are no disturbances, and one is very actively engaged in loving, serving God and everyone in connection to God. This is the natural state of a soul. Yeah, so that's what we discussed. Good, Justin. I mean, I truly appreciate you. You could recollect. I don't know whether you have made notes or you just recollected from your memory.
I just said what I remembered or I could think of.
Oh, okay. You could just remember from your memory. It's amazing. It's great. Good, good. Thank you. So let's move forward. Yeah. So yeah, I think we have discussed. I think we have discussed till I don't know. Did we discuss about this point? Like such a man appears to be always dejected and is addicted to intoxications and intoxicants and sleeping. The other symptoms of a person conditioned with a mode of ignorance. Did we discuss this?
I do remember talking about or reading 6 hours of sleep
Yeah.
is
6 hours
sufficient.
of sleep is insufficient. A
Uh,
man mode of ignorance sleeps at least 10 or 12 hours a day. Correct. The point. Yeah.
maybe, but
Yeah, you remember. Okay, you remember this. Okay. And such a man appears to be always addicted to intoxicant and sleeping. The other symptoms of person conditioned mode of ignorance. Correct? I think you remember this.
yeah, I think we did read that.
Okay, we did that. Sure. Okay, we'll go ahead. Satam sukhe sanjayati.
Yati.
Raja karmani bharata
Bharata
jnanam avritya tu
Yanam
tamaha
Agrata Tutama
pramade sanjayati
Madhu
yuta.
Sanjya Yate Uta.
Yeah, can you read the translation?
O son of Bharata, the mode of goodness conditions one to happiness, passion conditions one to fruitive action, and ignorance covering one's knowledge binds one to madness.
So just again to clarify, fruitive action means when somebody is acting with the intense desire to get some material gain, so he's always looking for what is in it for me in terms of his material enjoyment. So that is born out of passion. And ignorance is covering one's knowledge, binds one to madness. That means he will do certain acts, which is, it just, madness. It has not much meaning. It is destructive for himself and harmful for others also. Yeah. Purport.
And or a person in the mode of goodness is satisfied by his work or intellectual pursuit, just as a philosopher, scientist, or educator may be engaged in a particular field of knowledge and may be satisfied in that way.
Yeah.
Man,
So, yeah, just a second. So, yeah. So there is a sense of satisfaction. Yeah, that we discussed. There is a sense of happiness. There is a sense of having acquired knowledge. These are the typical characteristic of a person who's in mode of goodness. Yeah. So yeah. So mode of goodness person. Yeah. So he may be educator, he may be philosopher or scientist. This kind of people, and and they may have some certain sense of satisfaction. Okay. Go ahead.
man in the mode of passion may be engaged in fruitive activity. He earns as much as he can and spends for good causes.
Yeah. Can you further?
Sometimes he tries to open hospitals, give to charity institutions, etc. These are signs of one in the mode of passion.
Yeah.
And
So they may be doing sometimes some good activities also, like they may give some charity, they may open the hospital, right? So yeah, but they have material motivation. They may do it out of their sense of uh, you know that, oh, I am opening the hospital. So there is sense of ego there, but that ego is much better than the ego in ignorance, where the person is completely covered. So here he is doing it for some kind of material fame, maybe material name, material fame. Like there's a joke. Should I tell you a joke? I will tell.
all
So
right,
once
sure.
once there was a person, he has donated the fans. In India we have very much need of fan. It's a
Mm-hmm.
quite tropical country. So he has donated very good fans. And what has happened when he has donated the fan, then he has also written the name, on its, the blades. So you can easily see that the name is there on the blade. So what happened? So when he came to that hospital, then he told that, oh, I donated all the fans, but it was the summer season, so all the fans were rotating. Then he told, hey, wait a minute, stop all the fans. Hey, what happened? Why are you telling to stop all the fans? No, 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 no. If you, I can't see my name. When it is moving, I can't see. Nobody can see my name. So,
Mm-hmm.
so he wanted his name to be seen, but for that you have to switch off the fans. So it's like funny. So sometimes we do. One may donate, one may give some kind of charity work, but actually he's looking for certain kind of fame. Certain kind of
Yeah.
that sense of recognition that, yeah, I'm doing something nice. I'm doing some selfless act. So even this kind of subtle ego, is also in mode of passion. When you are looking for something for our gain, like even say somebody is, you know, mm, does some kind of favor to someone, and after that they will remind him, hey, I did this for you. Remember? So you should do for me something. They may demand. That is passion actually. In goodness, if you do favor, you won't remember it. You won't take it. You just forget it. You just do it out of your sense of selfless nature to just serve. Just serve because they are children of God or something like that. So there is a higher sense of knowledge there, but passion doesn't have that kind of higher sense of knowledge. So they may do it out of some sense of false prestige, some kind of ego, like that. So sometimes he tries to open hospital, give charity institution. The signs of any mode of passion, but he has his own, causes for which he wants to spend, and he wants to own as much as possible. And he is typically engaged in fruitive activity, the activities which give him some kind of material gain, or name, or fame, or prestige, or anything like that. Yes, go ahead.
Sometimes and the mode of ignorance covers knowledge. In the mode of ignorance, whatever one does is good neither for him nor for anyone.
Yeah, like in United States, the hippies many times, so sometimes they have kind of habit which is very destructive, and those who are in touch with them, even they also are in trouble. So this happens sometimes. So I've heard some kind of, sometimes some hippies even die. They died out of heavy dose of drugs and all, and sometimes because of their association, some other people got influenced. They also started taking drugs, and they got also, into trouble. So this kind of wrong association is sometimes, very hazardous. So this is typically, the whole influence of mode of ignorance. So
Mm.
that's how it is. Not it does. Whatever one does is good neither for him nor for anyone. Yeah. Text 10. रजस्तमश्चाभिभूय
Rajas tamas chabhivuya
सत्वं भवति भारत
sankarati bharata
रजः सत्वं तमश्चैव
rajas tamas chaiva
तमः सत्वं रजस्तथा.
tamas rajas tata.
Yeah, you can read.
Sometimes the mode of goodness becomes prominent, defeating the modes of passion and ignorance, Osana Bharata. Sometimes the mode of passion defeats goodness and ignorance. And at other times, ignorance defeats goodness and passion. In this way, there is always competition for supremacy.
So you remember you were asking the same question.
Yeah,
That was
yeah.
your last question, I believe, right? You're asking whether it is like just one mode, 1-0, or it is like a mixture or what. So then I gave you the answer, telling that this is going to come in future also. You remember?
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So here you go. It says this. So it is always like in competition. Yeah,
Uh,
mode of goodness becomes prominent, defeating the mode of passion and ignorance. And now sometimes the mode of passion defeats goodness and ignorance, and at other times ignorance defeats goodness and passion. This way there is always competition for supremacy. So it's always like a mixture. Yes, you have some question?
no.
Okay. Yes, you can read the purport. Just a minute. Just a minute.
When the mode
Just,
is what?
no, just a minute. Yeah, you can read this.
When the mode of passion is prominent, the modes of goodness and ignorance are defeated.
Yeah, go ahead.
When the mode of goodness is prominent, passion and ignorance are defeated. When the mode of ignorance is prominent, passion and goodness are defeated. This competition is always going on. Therefore, one who is actually intent on advancing in Krishna consciousness has to transcend these three modes.
So whenever we say Krishna, it refers to God, because one of the most prominent name of God is Krishna. Why like that? Krishna means it's coming from the two word. It's coming from the root word, Greek word Christos, Krishna. Krishna means attractive, all attractive. So only God can be all attractive, because he has all the opulences, So he can be all attractive personality. He has all beauty, all strength, all knowledge, all fame, all knowledge, all fame, all renunciation, and fame, knowledge, beauty, strength, richness, all wealth, and all renunciation. There are 6 opulences. It's called Bhagavan, or God. So one who is full in 6 opulences, he becomes attractive. He becomes all attractive. Like anyone in this world who has beauty, he's attractive. Anybody in this world who has knowledge is attractive. Anybody in this world who has fame, he's attractive. Anybody in this world who has strength is attractive. Anybody in this world who has wealth is attractive. Anybody who in this world who has certain renunciation, detachment, he also is attractive. So, but nobody in this world has all these things in full. He cannot say, I'm the highest in this. No, nobody can say. So only God is the one who is like, having the fullness in any of these opulences, and not just one of those, all of the 6 in full. in one person, that is God. That's why he is the most attractive, all attractive personality. That's why the name of God, the most apt name of God is Krishna. That's why it is used like this, advancing in Krishna consciousness, because the most apt name of God should be Krishna. That's what Christ word also comes from, the word Christo. That's also Christ, and that same, it's a derived word. It's called Krishna also. So it's like having a similar meaning. So that's how it is. So Krishna consciousness means essentially God consciousness. Yes, you can go ahead. Therefore, one who is.
Therefore, one who is actually intent on advancing in Krishna consciousness has to transcend these three modes.
Yes. So
Prominence.
amazing point. So this is very amazing point. You see, that means if you actually want to become truly God conscious, so you'll have to seriously think about overpowering or conquering all these three modes. You have to seriously know the science and know how it influences us, and and have a lifestyle which helps you to be on the springboard goodness, and then you can take more deeper shelter of the spiritual principles, and then you can transcend these modes and advance in Krishna consciousness, God consciousness. Yes. Just a minute.
The prominence of some certain mode of nature is manifested in one's dealings, in his activities and eating, etc.
Yeah.
So
You can see the characteristic of the person, and you can identify which mode is acting on him, prominently, and in general also in certain times. You can actually observe that. Yeah. So in dealings, in his activities, in eating, you can understand. Yeah. So all these things will be.
All this will be explained in later chapters.
Yeah.
But if one wants, he can develop by practice the mode of goodness and thus defeat the modes of ignorance and passion. One can similarly develop
Yes, go ahead. No problem. Go ahead.
The mode of passion and defeat goodness and ignorance, or one can develop the mode of ignorance and defeat goodness and passion.
Yeah, so we don't want to develop goodness, passion, and ignorance. We want to actually develop goodness because it's springboard. So yeah.
Although there are these three modes of material nature, if one is determined, he can be blessed by the mode of goodness, and by transcending the mode of goodness, he can be situated in pure goodness. And by transcending the mode of goodness, he can be, I read that, which is called the Vasudeva state, a state in which one can understand the signs of God.
Yeah. So we discussed that, right? So we can transcend from the mode of goodness, can be in pure goodness. That's called Vasudeva state. It's another synonym of pure goodness or transcendental state, called Vasudeva state also. Vasudeva state. And God is revealed in this state. In the transcendental state, you can easily understand the spiritual subject matter. It becomes easy to understand the spiritual reality, digest the spiritual reality. So that's how the transcendental mode of Vasudeva state, of pure goodness state, is the state in which one can understand the science of God. That's what it says. A state in which one can understand the science of God. That's a state in which you can understand the science of God. But if you are under the influence of lower modes, ignorance, passion, and goodness, it will be difficult. One may speculate, one may guess about. That's why people bring out many theories about God, but sometimes they have no clue. How profound this philosophy, how much really this philosophy is giving the, is actually telling the truth. So you may not be sure about it, because they're actually talking when they are influenced under the modes of ignorance, passion, and goodness, right? Yeah. So now in this chapter also we'll get a quite good help to cultivate more of goodness, and also Bhagavad Gita teaches us how we can also transcend the goodness, and by certain process, by certain lifestyle, by certain methods, if we adopt in our life, then we can actually transcend the mode of goodness, and we can be eventually we can be brought to the transcendental state. And that's how it becomes very natural for us to understand the science of God and be God conscious. Yes.
By the manifestation of particular activities, it can be understood in what mode of nature one is situated.
Yeah. So as per your modes, you will accordingly have certain kind of activities, and that's how you can know that under which mode you are actually getting influenced by. So Arjuna asked this question to Lord Krishna in the second chapter, what are the symptoms of those who have actually got understanding of science of God, those who are situated in mode of pure goodness, those who are in transcendental state. So he has asked various symptoms of such kind of person. So Krishna gives a lot of verses explaining about the symptoms. Some other time you will see that. So he talks about how he becomes equipoised, how he becomes oblivious to happiness and distress of this world, how he is not discouraged or affected by the loss or profit or defeat or victory. He becomes quite equipoised in all these dualities of life. There are many symptoms being mentioned, of somebody who is in transcendental state, somebody who has become God conscious, like that. Like if you find the great, those who have become very great God conscious personalities, like for instance, we take the example of Jesus, So Jesus was not having any kind of negative feeling for even those who were crucifying him. In fact, he was praying for them. He was saying that, oh Lord, they don't know what they're doing. Please forgive them. So he was even praying for those who were kind of killing him, they were executioners. They were taking his life away, but he was praying for even those so-called enemies of him, right? Which is the most toughest thing what we can think of. That is because they're not working on this material plane. They're not working under the influence of modes. So they lose any kind of hatred and any kind of you know uh, what do you say, pleasure and hatredness on material platform, under the modes, like that. There is feeling of happiness, there is feeling of anxiety. There are real emotions exist on the transcendental platform also, on the spiritual platform also. There's certain emotion, but these emotions are real emotions. These emotions are pure emotions. They have no contamination of modes. That's why all these emotions are very, very healthy and they're very nourishing, right? Like somebody may be in pure goodness and he can also have anger, but that anger is completely different from the anger born out of passion. That anger will be a very good anger, which would be actually help the person and help others also. I can give an example. In There is an example of of a great devotee called Hanuman. So it comes in Ramayana. If you have understanding of the Indian Vedic text, this is one of the very important scripture is called Ramayana. So Ramayana is talking about certain epic where there is a great devotee of God. His name is Hanuman. So Hanuman, he was actually a very great devotee of Lord Rama, who is the Supreme Lord himself. So what happened that there was a demon called Ravana. So he stole the consort of Rama, the Supreme Lord. Consort in the sense that the Lord's energy, the personification of Lord's energy, the goddess of fortune. So the demon took her away. Of course, nobody can do that. God allows that, for the sake of teaching, for the sake of pastimes, for the sake of setting the certain kind of he enacts certain pastimes like that. So anyway, so then Hanuman, he goes in search of the goddess of fortune, the mother Sita. And when he goes to his place, that place name was Lanka. That was the kingdom of this demon, and the whole kingdom was made up of gold. And this very big demon, Ravan, was very cruel hearted. So the Hanumanji goes, to the Lanka to find the Sita, to bring her back, to get the information about, the goddess of fortune. So this Ravana was wanting to, kidnap and, do harm to Hanuman. But Hanuman, he was so angry, so they caught fire, they actually put fire on him. So what he did, so he just jumped everywhere and he lit the whole Lanka with fire. And he was very angry, because he has tried to separate the god's consort, the goddess of fortune, from him. So he was very upset, and that's how he burned the whole Lanka. So it was an act of anger, right? Like Arjuna also had to fight for the sake of establishing religion. So for that sake, he had to fight against certain irreligious people. So when you have to fight, then there has to be certain kind of anger. But that anger was not out of desire for gaining kingdom, but that was because that Krishna has ordered Arjuna that you should do it for the establishing of dharma, religion, then that anger is not born of passion. That dharma is actually on the transcendental platform, on the mode of pure goodness, like that. Just like mother may also slap the child or express certain angry words just for the reformation of the child. So that anger is different from an anger which a school boy may hit the child, out of envy, out of certain hatred. But mother won't do that. There's a difference in that anger. The same way, there are emotions, real emotions, on the spiritual platform, like anger, like uh, like anxiety. Like a devotee of the Lord can also be anxious to save the world. Like Jesus was anxious to save the world. So there can be anxiety, but that anxiety is not putrefying. That anxiety is more fulfilling. It's of spiritual nature. It is very, very nourishing, like that. So yeah, so all these spiritual emotions are there: love, anxiety, sometimes anger, and yeah, greed. That greed is spiritual. Okay, we can become greedy to know more and more about Lord. You become greedy to do more and more service to God and His devotees. So there's a positive engagement of greed. So just think about it. It's such a wonderful thing. It is not that in our perfected state, in that transcendental mode, in the spiritual platform, we become dull, we become like a stone. No, actually, we get the real emotions. All our emotions have a real value. Now, when we are in the modes, then our emotions are colored by all this contamination of influence of ignorance, passion, and goodness. Just like when you have a bulb, you put different colors, red color, black color, green color. Then you find the white light is actually reflected. I mean, it is transmitting to different colors, right? But actually, if you remove all that coverings, then it is pure white light. Same way, we have the pure qualities of the soul, right? Like being kind, being loving, being always cooperating, loving God, serving God. These are all pure qualities of the soul. And in that pure quality of the soul, there may be flavors. Like in love, you can show your anger. When you're loving God, you can also express your anger in certain anxiety. You can express greed. You can express. Those are real emotions, the pure emotions of the soul. Which is not detrimental, which is very, very pure, and which is very helping you, and it helps and nourishes you and nourishes everyone also. It is a very wonderful thing. It brings out good of everyone. So these are pure emotions. So yeah, actually, if there is no pure emotion, then why there are contaminated or disrupting emotions? Disrupting emotions means there must be some pure emotions also, right? When you talk about there's impure water, that means there must be some pure water somewhere, right? So when you have certain perverted things, certain things which have certain inebrities, certain contamination, that means there is something pure also exists, right? You want to get in market some milk, you get milk which is not so pure, it has certain contamination. That means there must be some pure milk somewhere. You have to really work it out, where to get it. So in a spiritual realm, everything exists in pure state. But when it is infected by motes, then it comes out in different contamination and it is polluting. It is not sometimes very nourishing. In fact, it is putrefying like that. So this is a very important point to understand, that the spiritual realm doesn't make us inert or dull or like a stone, which many times some people think, but actually it gives us an active, pure life wherein you deal with real emotions, and that is not frustrating. In this world, certain emotions we have towards people, and eventually we end up in frustration. There is a breakup. There are, I mean, sometimes frustration and expectations are not fulfilled, and there are a lot of clash sometimes. But in spiritual realm, the relationships are very nourishing, because there is no contamination, no modes there. So because of no effects of influence of the modes, it's only pure exchange, of different emotions. Then it is very, very nourishing, very, very nourishing. So yeah. So do you have any question and any? Are you okay with this? Till now, what I explained. I mean, I spoke a lot. I'm sorry, but I just wanted to check with you also. Is it going good, or I mean, you finding somewhat difficult to get what I'm speaking?
Well, I get what you're speaking.
Oh, do you have any reflection, any kind of discussion you want to have of any of my point?
I don't have any questions right now.
Okay. Okay. So we are good till now. Should we go ahead?
Sure.
Okay. So yeah, we can read this. Sarvadvareshu dehesmin
Dehismin
prakasha upajayate
Ajate
jnanam yada tada
Yanam
vidyad
Yada Tata Vidyad
vivridham
Vivida
sattvamithyuta.
Tita.
Yeah. Can you read the translation?
The manifestation of the mode of goodness can be experienced when all the gates of the body are illuminated by knowledge.
I'm sorry. Yeah, you can read.
There are 9 gates in the body: 2 eyes, 2 ears, 2 nostrils, the mouth, the genitals, and the anus. Every gate
So yeah, just a remark. So we are also sometimes called dware Navapure Dehi. Navapure Dehi. Navapure Dehi means what? It's a city of 9 gates. No, it's a city of 9 gates. So body also called city of 9 gates. Why city of 9 gates? Because we have 9 holes in our body, as you mentioned here. Yes. Go ahead.
When every gate is illuminated by the symptoms of goodness, it should be understood that one has developed the mode of goodness. In the mode of goodness, one can see things in the right position, one can hear things in the right position, and one can taste things in the right position.
Mm-hmm.
One becomes cleansed inside and outside. In every gate, there's development of the symptoms of happiness, and that is the position of goodness.
Okay, I will give you a simple example to understand this. See, when our senses are in impure state, when it is not illuminated, with knowledge, when it is not cleansed, if it is still impure, then our all the 9 holes, they function in different way. I'll give example, like our eyes. When our eyes is actually influenced by mode of goodness, then our eyes will automatically, screen away all those things which are detrimental for my spiritual progress. That's how the goodness helps us. So in goodness, my eyes will not hanker for certain objects, certain sense objects, which is polluting, which is going to infect me with lust and certain kind of other, modes, certain kind of other negative influences. So my eyes will automatically filter out those things, and it will naturally be wanting to look for those things which will help me to progress in my, Krishna consciousness. So that kind of eyes are actually illuminated by goodness. It is more influenced by goodness, like that. So it will accept its food. Like for eyes, the food is objects, the forms. So it will accept certain objects which is more, conducive for his spiritual journey. Like same way, if you talk about, let's say, your ear, so yeah, so we will not be happy to give any input if the ears are illuminated by goodness. So the any kind of, say, some kind of wrong words, some kind of slangs, some kind of contaminating sentences, so those kind of contaminated sound, our eyes would not be ready to take it. It will filter out. We will not just try. We just can't accept it. It's like that. It's like, if suppose somebody tries to feed me some bunch of grass. Even if feeds me, I will I will just spit out everything. I cannot take it, because that's not my food. Because I'm a human being. I can't take grass. It's meant for some other creature, like that. So I just can't take it, It's just not possible for me. It's difficult for me. Because my whole thing is having a certain way of, functioning, I can't. So same way, the mode of goodness, when it influences, in a very positive manner, our senses. So same way, our tongue also, it cannot eat certain stuff which is not, conducive for my spiritual growth, like that. So just like in our laptop or in our system, sometimes we have pen drive. You want to put pen drive, you put this way, it doesn't go inside. Then you have to do like this, turn it. Then you go, it goes. You understand, no? So same way. So when you have the right those objects which are conducive, so it will take in, it will allow, our senses will take in. But if something which is detrimental for us, it won't take it. Something which is having the qualities of lower modes, influenced by mode of ignorance and passion, those objects, so the senses will not try to take it. So and it is illuminated also means it will be engaged in a positive way. All the senses will naturally be engaged in a positive way, which is aligned with the purpose of life, and which is engaged in the service of God, and that's how it brings out the real realization in the heart, and that's how one can develop more and more God consciousness. One gets more and more realizations. So every gate is illuminated by the symptoms of goodness. It should be understood that one has developed the mode of goodness. In the mode of goodness, one can see things in the right position, right? So eyes can discriminate between right and wrong. The ears can also discriminate between right and wrong. What is good for me, what is favorable for me, what is not favorable for me. So this thing is, it becomes illuminated, means it has a sense of discrimination. Same way, if we have sense of discrimination with our tongue, so everything is illuminated in the sense we have certain discrimination. What is favorable for me, what is not favorable for me. So you become cleansed inside and outside. Yeah, one can taste things in the right position. Yeah, you understand, oh, this is good for making progress in Krishna consciousness. It's not good for me for making progress in Krishna consciousness. So by dint of your illumination and knowledge, and the way the senses have become purified, it becomes easy for you to discriminate. It's like that. Does it make sense? I try my best to explain you, but does it make sense to you?
Yeah, I guess it makes more sense. I was not very clear on it when first reading it, but I think you
I'm so
explained it decently well. Like,
okay.
all these gates are more selective and, um, help you choose what is, as you said, conducive to your growth and your Krishna consciousness.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, good. I appreciate. Nice. Yeah. So yeah, yeah. Just by reading the text, yeah, it might not be very easy to connect, but yeah, what I explain, I think it may help you. Yeah, isn't it?
Oh, one becomes cleansed inside and outside. In every gate, there's a development of symptoms of happiness, and that is the position of goodness.
Yeah. Somebody gets the development of symptoms of happiness. Yeah, because when you do the right things, you become naturally happy because you have less of infections, and you have more and more of the constructive inputs, and you are also progressing in a constructive way in your life, making progress in Krishna consciousness. So that's how you find more and more happiness, and you have sense of satisfaction. So these are all the result of goodness. So goodness is very, very favorable for you to make progress in your Krishna consciousness. So goodness is like our friend. Of course, we should not become stuck, as I told in the beginning also. We don't have to remain stuck in the goodness, but goodness is like a via medium. Through goodness, we can easily go towards pure goodness. So goal should be pure goodness, Krishna consciousness, and the goodness should be seen as a favorable disposition where it can be conducive for us to make progress. You can read further. Lobha pravittirarambha
Aramba,
dharmanam
Ramanam,
ashamaspriham
Svira,
rajasi etani jayante
Rasi, Jante,
vivrite bharatarshava.
Tarashaba.
Yeah, you can read.
O chief of the Bharatas, when there is an increase in the mode of passion, the symptoms of great attachment, fruitive activity, intense endeavor, and uncontrollable desire and hankering develop.
Yeah, so these are the result of increasing mode of passion. You see that sometimes it happens to us all. We develop certain great attachment, sometimes to opposite sex, sometimes to money, sometimes to some fame. We just get carried away sometimes. It happens. Yeah, we become insensitive to others sometimes, when we have such great attachment. Fruitive activity, intense endeavor, we just work hard like alcoholic, and just for getting some kind of money, some kind of material gain, some kind of fame or something like that. There is some sense of ego that way. And uncontrollable desire and hankering develop. Yeah, you just get carried away by so much of intense desire to attain some material gain. A lot of hankering, that will be there. Yes. And there is no satisfaction. Yeah, purport. Yeah.
One in the mode of passion is never satisfied with the position he has already acquired. He hankers to increase his position. If he wants to construct a residential house, he tries his best to have a palatial house, as if he would be able to reside in that house eternally.
As if he cannot, but he feels like that. Yeah.
And he develops a great hankering for sense gratification.
Yeah, he wants to gratify his senses to any extent, and limitless extent. Yeah.
There is no end to sense gratification. He always wants to remain with his family and in his house and to continue the process of sense gratification.
Yeah, sense gratification, I think you are able to relate to. It's like trying to enjoy your senses, in a material way, like gratifying the senses with all the sense objects. Yeah, there is no.
There is no cessation of this. All these symptoms should be understood as characteristic of the mode of passion.
Yeah. Okay, text 13. Aprakasho apravittischa pramado moha eva cha tamasyetani jayante vivride kuru nandana. Yeah, can you read this translation?
When there is an increase in the mode of ignorance, as son of Kuru, darkness, inertia, madness, and illusion are manifested.
Yeah. So ignorance, when it is increased, then darkness, inertia, madness, and illusion are manifested. No. Yeah. Go ahead.
When there is no illumination, knowledge is absent. One in the mode of ignorance does not work by regulative principle, and
I'm sorry. Sorry.
it's all good.
Yeah.
Even though he does not work by regulative principle, he wants to act whimsically for no purpose. Even though he has the capacity to work, he makes no endeavor. This is called illusion. Although consciousness is going on, life is inactive. These are the symptoms of one in the mode of ignorance.
Yeah, there is no illumination, knowledge is absent. So he does not work by regulative principle. Yeah, basically, there is no discrimination in ignorance, But one doesn't understand how to discriminate, He just doesn't know. He just gets carried away, with certain kind of, whatever he just flows in the way the things go. So he doesn't have a discrimination. He may sleep for a long time. He may just want to eat and he doesn't have any proper purpose. He'll be very lazy, whimsical, no regulative principle, no discipline. It's kind of typically mode of ignorance life, mode of ignorance. He does not work by regulative principle. He doesn't have any impetus to follow any principle in life. Like say, we may have certain principle of getting up early in the morning, or we may have certain principle of studying every day particular number of hours. So the person mode of ignorance will not able to hold to any principles, no regulative principles, right? Like taking bath, so that he can be cleansed in his body. He may not have much any regulative principle about it. So he just wants to act whimsically. He doesn't have any direction, any things to take guidance from. So he just acts life in a whimsical manner for no purpose. If you ask him what is the purpose of life, he says, "Oh, I'm just floating. My life is going. Whatever it takes me, it takes me." He may just say like that. He doesn't have any proper purpose. Yeah, even though he has the capacity to work,
he has the capacity to work. He makes no endeavor.
Yeah, he has no endeavor. Yeah, so that he has the ability, but he's somehow lazy about everything. So this is called illusion. So although consciousness is going on, life is inactive. Yeah, he is living, but is like almost dead. So just in terms of one mode of ignorance. Yeah, you can read this. Yada satye pravidyetu pranayam yati deha taddotamavidam lokan amalan pratipadyate. Yeah, can read.
When one dies in the mode of goodness, he attains to the pure high planets of the great sages.
Yeah. So look, now he is talking about certain higher planets also. Yeah. So actually, if you see the Vedic scriptures do mention about certain realms which are higher in nature from earthly realm, and the certain realm which are lower than earthly realm also. Yeah. So from modern mechanistic science perspective, the modern science perspective, sometimes they haven't got much understanding about the higher realms and lower realms of life much sometimes, because they have their own limited capacity to explore this cosmos, this material cosmos. But the Vedas, being the manual of the mankind given by the God, so Vedas carry certain information about the material cosmos, which may not be easily comprehensible by a modern man's brain, but it doesn't mean that those informations have no meaning to us. just because we are not able to comprehend, because we have a certain limited brain capacity to explore on our own, that doesn't mean that the information which is given in the Vedas, which are actually the text, which are the manual of this universe, which is given by the higher authorities, the Lord, he arranges that manual to pass down, come down. So then we can get the relevant information actually from the Vedas about this cosmic, this whole world, cosmos, that how there is a material realm, how there is spiritual realm, and within material realm there are different realms, higher realm, lower realm, like that. So the higher realm are typically called heavenly planets. The lower to earthly realm is called hellish planets, and the highest realm is called spiritual world, the kingdom of God, which when Bible talks about, yeah. So he says, thou shalt inherit the kingdom of thou shalt be meek and humble to inherit the kingdom of God. Jesus says this. So yeah. So if you see that when he's talking about inheriting the kingdom of God, it means it is not some ordinary realm like earthly realm. It is not even heavenly and hellish realm. It is beyond all this material realm. It is spiritual realm. This is kingdom of God. Yeah. So yeah. So there are different realms. That's what he's talking about. Let's read the purport.
One goodness attains higher planetary systems like Brahmaloka or Janaloka, and there enjoys godly happiness.
Yeah. So there are 7 planetary systems, So Brahmaloka, Satyaloka, so Janaloka, Maharloka, Satyaloka, all these different, these are higher planets, higher than earthly planets, higher than earthly realms. So they have certain more, elevated consciousness, and they have better knowledge, and better mental and physical standards of life also. So and they are more enlightened than us many times. So these are all the higher realms, Yeah. So read this. The word Amalan is significant means.
Word Amalan is significant. It means free from the modes of passion and ignorance.
Yeah. So those realms are more prominent by goodness, Those realms are more affected by, influenced by mode of goodness. So there is still, it's like A class jail. That's what I was trying to tell. It's like A class jail. Yeah. There are impurities.
There are impurities in the material world, but the mode of goodness is the purest form of existence in the material world.
Yeah. So mode of goodness is the purest form of existence in the material world. Yeah. There are different kinds of planets for different kinds.
There are different kinds of planets for different kinds of living entities. Those who die in the mode of goodness are elevated to the planets where great sages and great devotees live.
Yeah. So you see, this is within material realm. Within material realm, it's like within jail. If somebody is better situated, he'll go. Now a person who's in B class jail, he might have never seen the A class jail how it looks like, because he has no access to it. So you can speculate. Oh, there is only one compartment like mine jail. That's all. When we conclude like that foolishly. So we are a tiny soul. We are a tiny jiva. Even all the people on this planet, they are just like, suppose, just imagine the floor of my building. There's some ants. If the ants are crawling, those ants, if they want to fathom the entire Boston, the Boston city, if they have to fathom what capacity they carry, even the best of the ant, the scholar, the great scholar, the scientist ant wants to explore, about the Boston city, what this tiny creature can get to know, with all the research. And what to speak of United States, and what to speak of the Earth planet, and what to speak of, further. So we are also very tiny creature crawling on this planet Earth, and so we shouldn't be having so much of egos, thinking that, oh, I know there are no life anywhere else, I know life is only here. I can see only life here. I don't find life in moon or here. We just can't claim so much like that. But our understanding and experiences and capacities are very, very insignificant, very limited. We cannot be puffed up and claim that, oh, this is what is what. We can't just say that. So yeah, but from the Vedic text, we can actually get some information, because yeah, it does make sense. Why? Because the Vedic text gives us information which is sometimes infallible. Like the Vedas are talking about plants had life. They're talking from long time back, even before Jagdish Chandra Basu, who had kind of discovered that yes, plants actually have life. So yeah, but it is being given in the Vedas from long time back. The embryology, it is given in the Vedas, from long time back. It is always there. Embryology, Vastu Shastra, about the science of orientation of the building and washrooms and things like that, how it affects the certain situations of life in one's individual. That's also given in the Vedas. Same way astrology, same way Ayurveda, like Yoga Sutras. There's so many sciences in Vedas which are not kind of researched by any material scientist, but it's already there. Without research, it is already there. So how these things are already there? Because the knower of this creation, the Supreme Lord, has given the knowledge in the form of Vedas. So that knowledge is existing, in the form of those verses. It's already there. So that's how one can develop faith in the Vedas, because there's many things in the Vedas which are infallible, which can be witnessed with our own eyes right now, and we can see that how this has been spoken, from the time when we had no clue about any of those aspects, but it is already there. So there are many other information in the Vedas which may not be comprehensible right now with me for me. I may not be able to comprehend. I may not be able to properly understand it. But just because I am not able to comprehend fully, that doesn't mean that information is not true or something, right? So one should have reasonable faith, and one can progress in Krishna consciousness. And as in he grows in his realization, he's able to realize, and see things, better. He can see things in better perspective, and he can have realization of higher truths, more and more as he progresses in his consciousness that way. Does it make sense, Justin, whatever I spoke till now, especially upon the higher realms and lower realms and things like that and all that?
Yeah, I think what you said makes sense. Yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And there are typical names of different planets, different realms, like Brahmaloka, Janaloka. They're differently they're situated. So yeah, so these things are explained in the Vedic text. They're talking about it, and it's quite logical. Just like there are certain kind of people staying in America. They have certain bodily structure. They have certain psychology, certain culture. And there are people who are staying in India. They have different kind of culture. They have different kind of structure. You know, and there are people staying in China. They have some differences. So even in this tract of land, you find they're living in these. There were human beings of different kinds. And same way, if you dig the earth, you find inside there are living creatures. You go in the water, you find certain living creatures. You go in the air, there are living creatures. So living creatures are everywhere. You see, like that. So yeah, and they occupy different places, depending upon their modes, actually, like which species you get into after death, which form of life you get into. That also depends upon your modes. Which place you go, that also depends upon your modes. Like he's mentioned, if somebody dies in mode of goodness, then he goes to the higher realms. Somebody dies in mode of passion, he remains on the earthly realm, most likely. And somebody dies in the mode of ignorance, he's likely to go towards the lower realms and lower forms of life. you know Maybe he may become certain lower creatures and all that. So these are all different ways. Of course, there are a lot of factors, like somebody may be mode of goodness, and he may not go to higher realms. He may be born in the earthly realm, but he may have prominent goodness with him. So these are like different shades. I mean, it's quite complex. It's quite complicated in terms of exactly determining one's birth in which place and which mode. It has a lot of factors governing. Yeah, but things can still be more clear as we go further, because we understand there are many factors influencing. Just like when you throw a ball, how the motion would be, the different factors: law of gravitation, law of friction, and sometimes even the shape of the object, different factors governing. Eventually, the trajectory can be defined. Equation can be written. So the same way, the karma, the way you get next life, it has a lot of factors determining, the modes and the karma, and so many factors, the desire of the individual, there's so many things. So yeah, that's why it's called karmana gahano gatihi. It's quite complex to fathom how karma is determining the journey of the soul. As in he goes to different species of life, different situations of life. It's quite complex that way. Yeah. So should we pause here, Justin, or you have time? What do you say?
I have time.
You have time? Okay.
Yeah.
Just me. Yeah, maybe we can go for some few more minutes, because I think I'll have to go.
Okay.
But we can surely read for 5 minutes more.
All right.
So yeah, Rajasi Pralayam Gatva.
Uh,
कर्म संगीषु जायते
Jayate
तथा प्रलीनस्तमसि
Tamasi
मूढ़ा योनिषु जायते.
Jayate.
Yeah, so explaining. Can you read?
When one dies in the mode of passion, he takes birth among those engaged in fruitive activities, and when one dies in the mode of ignorance, he takes birth in the animal kingdom.
Oh my God. So here you go. Now you understand. The mode of ignorance is so dangerous, One may go glide down to the lower species of life. See. Yeah. Yeah.
Some people have the impression that when the soul reaches the platform of human life, it never goes down again. This is incorrect. According to this verse, if one develops the mode of ignorance after his death, he is degraded to an animal form of life. And there, one has to again elevate himself by an evolutionary process to come again to the human form of life. Therefore, those who are actually serious about human life should take to the mode of goodness. When in good association, transcend the modes and become situated in Krishna consciousness. This is the aim of human life. Otherwise, there is no guarantee that the human being will again attain to the human status.
So very interesting, you see. Any reflection from this? What do you understand?
I mean, what does it mean for an animal to elevate themselves, quote unquote, by an evolutionary process?
Yeah, yeah,
Like, what
yeah.
can an animal do consciously?
Yes, yes.
Uh,
I'll explain it. Yeah. So yeah. So what happens is, like, if somebody glides down to the lower form of life, let's say he glides down to some cat or dog or something like that. So all these species of life, they gradually, go into the further species. Like, they may take birth in the higher species, and the cow is considered to be the highest among all the animals. Cow, it has a lot of goodness. Like tiger is more in passion. The like creature like jackal, what is it, jackal jackals jackals, wolves,
yeah,
kind of creatures are considered mode of ignorance. So yeah, so you go among among the animal species also. What happens is the soul goes to the evolutionary process, and he may get into different forms, and then eventually he will get the human form also, by the gradual evolution of his, he taking birth in different species of life. That's why it is dangerous to glide down to the lower form, because we don't know when we are going to get next chance of getting a human birth. It's very rare. That's why there is a Srimad Bhagavatam verse. It says, Labdva sudulabam idam bahu sambhavante manushyam arthadam anityam apiha dhiraha turnam yateta napateta anumrityu yavana nishreyasaya vishaya khalu sarvata. I can show you this book, very beautiful. I'll just show you. It's in Srimad Bhagavatam. Yeah, see this one. It's 11.9.29 Srimad Bhagavatam. There's a shloka. So it says, can you read this?
after many births and deaths, one achieves the rare human form of life, which, although temporary, affords one the opportunity to attain highest perfection. Thus, a sober human being should quickly endeavor for the ultimate perfection of life, as long as his body, which is always subject to death, has not fallen down and died. After all, sense gratification is available, even in the most abominable species of life, whereas Krishna consciousness is only possible for a human being.
Yeah. So it's only after many, many births and deaths when achieves a rare human form of life, which is temporary, because we're not going to live forever. Affords one to opportunity to attain the highest perfection. That means we can transcend the modes and we can develop Krishna consciousness. So the sober human being should quickly endeavor for the ultimate perfection of life, as long as his body, which is always subject to death, has not fallen down and died. There is a such gratification is available even in the lower forms of life. Abominable species means lower forms, basically animal kingdom. Whereas uh, Krishna consciousness is possible only for a human being. Yeah. So you have the sun gratificatory pleasures like eating, sleeping, mating, defending. These are all pleasures are there in the animals also, right? So that should not be the goal of our human form. In human form of life, we can transcend the modes. We can come out of these influences, and we can, have our better destination. Get freed from the influence of material nature, and can be situated in our constitutional position in loving and serving God, and be promoted to the spiritual kingdom. That is possible in human form of life. Yes, so that was a beautiful shloka which I quoted for you. We'll go back to Bhagavad Gita. Yeah. Any other thing you want to reflect on or have any questions? Is it clear for you? So it may take it may take a lot of time sometimes. If somebody goes to the lower form of life, we don't know it. It may take a lot of time because there are a lot of lakhs of species of life. It said there are 84 lakh species of life, 84 lakh species of life. So I mean, it's too much. Sometimes we don't know. Like in US, you don't find ants, but there are ants species existing. In US, you hardly find mosquitoes. In India, you get varieties of more insects, and when you come to US, you get different variety of creatures. So in this universe, there are how many types of creatures we may not have idea, but Shastras are telling, scriptures are telling. So Vedas talk about there are 84 lakh species of life. Can you imagine? So vast. So I mean, when you glide down to lower forms of life, how much time it may take for you to come back to human form of life is very rare. It's like quite risky. And in human form is considered like a junction. When you get a human form of life, then you have the privilege, to be able to inquire about the higher truths of life. And then you can actually be promoted to the kingdom of God. It's possible. You can work on getting freed from the modes of material nature, which is not possible for other species of life. They simply go by instinct. The dog, the cat, the lion, they don't have that kind of endeavor. They only go by instinct of the modes. The modes control them, they live their life, that's all. But the humans have certain more freedom to choose their actions and modify their life, and can have certain endeavor to overcome the modes of passion and ignorance and goodness and transcend to the mode of pure goodness. It's possible. Does it make sense, bro?
Yeah.
Okay. So any other discussion on this verse? Any question, any discussion? If you have any clarification.
I'm good.
Okay.
For now.
Okay. Okay. Maybe we can just read. Oh, it's quite big. Can we read later? Because it's quite big now.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Up to you. I mean, I don't know.
Okay. Okay. You have time, I think.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I can read for you. No problem. No issues.
Okay.
We'll do that. Okay. So, okay. Karmana sukatasyahu satvikam nirmalam
phalam
dukham jnanam tamasaha. Sorry. Rajasastu phalam dukham agya. Yeah, phalam dukham ajnanam tamasha phalam. Yeah. You can read
The
this.
result of pious action is pure and is said to be in the mode of goodness, but action done in the mode of passion results in misery, and action performed in the mode of ignorance results in foolishness.
Yeah, so the result of different modes, So he talked about before the goodness, passion, ignorance, characteristics. It talks about the destination of different people in different modes. Somebody dies in mode of goodness, is elevated to the high platforms. Passion, he's born among those who are engaged in furtive activities. The ignorance is born in animal kingdom many times. And then he's talking about the result of the pious action is pure and said to be in mode of goodness. Result action during the mode of passion results in misery. You actually do activities, but you get misery. And the end result is misery. An action performed mode of good, ignorance results in foolishness. You get misery, but it is more foolish also. Yeah, purport.
The result of pious activities in the mode of goodness is pure. Therefore, the sages who are free from all illusion are situated in happiness. But activities in the mode of passion are simply miserable. Any activity for material happiness is bound to be defeated. If, for example, one wants to have a skyscraper and so much human misery has to be undergone before a big skyscraper can be built. The financier has to take much trouble to earn a massive wealth, and those who are slaving to construct the building have to render physical toil. The miseries are there. Thus, Bhagavad Gita says that in any activity performed under the spell of the mode of passion, there's definitely great misery. There may be a little so-called mental happiness. I have this house or this money, but this is not actual happiness.
Amazing. This is the point. It is simply mind. Oh, I have made this big empire. But so much of misery you have taken. Now you have got big loan, you have to pay EMI, you have to work very hard. Your whole life is ruined, but you don't understand it. You think, no, 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 I have got big home, I have got so much of facilities, but to pay off your loans, to maintain that, it actually is a lot of misery. So people don't even understand it. And the mode of passion is very covering. Don't get it. No, don't doesn't hits them. They don't understand, but actually they're influenced by mode of passion. Yeah.
As far as the mode of ignorance is concerned, the performer is without knowledge, and therefore all his activities result in present misery, and afterwards he will go on toward animal life. Animal life is always miserable, although under the spell of the illusory energy Maya, the animals do not understand this. Slaughtering poor animals is also due to the mode of ignorance. The animal killers do not know that in the future the animal will have a body suitable to kill them. That is the law of nature. In human society, if one kills a man, he has to be hanged. That is the law of the state. Because of ignorance, people do not perceive that there's a complete state controlled by the Supreme Lord. Every living creature is the son of the Supreme Lord, and he does not tolerate even an ant's being killed. One has to pay for it. So indulgence in animal killing for the taste of the tongue is the grossest kind of ignorance. A human being has no need to kill animals because God has supplied so many nice things. If one indulges in meat eating anyway, it is to be understood that he is acting in ignorance and is making his future very dark. Of all kinds of animal killing, the killing of cows is most vicious because the cow gives us all kinds of pleasures by supplying milk. Cow slaughter is an act of the grossest type of ignorance. In the Vedic literature, the words gobi
Rig Veda 9.46.4. This is a Veda. From the Veda is quoting the reference. The word Gobi Pranita Matsaram. Yeah.
Pranita Matsaram indicate that one who being fully satisfied by milk is desirous of killing cows is in the grossest ignorance. There's also a prayer in the Vedic literature that states
Namo Brahmanya Devaya
Vaya
Go Brahmana Hitaya
Cha
Jagadhitaya Krishnaya
Krishnaya
Govindaya Namo Namaha.
Govindaya Namo Nama. My Lord, you are the well-wisher of the cows and the Brahmanas, and you are the well-wisher of the entire human society and world.
Yeah, so I'll just clarify. This Brahmanas means what? They're the people who are prominently in mode of goodness. They're called Brahmanas. Intelligent class. Those who are, those class of people who are creative in their thought process. They have a higher sense of knowledge. They're prominently mode of goodness, like that. Yes. They can read the Vedas, understand the scriptures. They can understand the science of God more easily. It's called Brahmanas. So they take the occupation of reading Vedas, teaching, and doing certain kind of worship and rituals. So they are the more enlightened ones, Brahmanas, mode of goodness, yes. So you're addressing the Supreme Lord, you're the well-wisher of the cows, because cows are also in goodness, mode of goodness. And they give milk, which is miracle food, which has so much of nutrition and cow has certain more evolved consciousness compared to other animals. It's considered very sacred as per the scriptures. and you are the well-wisher of the entire human society and world. Yeah, this is Vishnu Puran 1.90.6, another text, Vishnu Puran. Yes, the purport.
The purport is that special mention is given in that prayer for the protection of the cows and the brahmanas. The brahmanas are the symbol of spiritual education, and cows are the symbol of the most valuable food. These two living creatures, the brahmanas and the cows, must be given all protection. That is, um, that is the real advancement of civilization. In modern human society, spiritual knowledge is neglected and cow killing is encouraged. It is to be understood and is then that the human society is advancing in the wrong direction and is clearing the path to its own condemnation. The civilization which guides the citizens to become animals in their next lives is certainly not a human civilization. Present human civilization is, of course, grossly misled by the modes of passion and ignorance. It is a very dangerous age, and all nations should take care to provide the easiest process, Krishna consciousness, to save humanity from the greatest danger.
Yeah. So any reflection, any question, any clarification? It's quite heavy purports, and a lot of sentences which it may need some clarification. Or if you have any question, you want to discuss anything. You want to ask anything?
Um, I mean, yeah, I don't know. I mean, uh, I think I'm okay, but um, so like one thing, what is this about slaughtering poor animals?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
like so slaughtering animals is um not good.
Mm-hmm.
And does that does that include wait, that, okay, that includes um wait, yeah, so that includes even ants. So then
Mm-hmm.
how are people able to how are people able to like transcend or
Mm.
uh
Okay, because by
be
mistake we even kill
forgiven for
because we by mistake kill ants also, that we're asking, right?
yeah, I mean, so it says here that you should not slaughter ants.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
um are things okay, or is it quote unquote like acceptable if you do not
Yeah.
constantly kill animals?
If you do not cut.
If you don't consciously kill animals or go out of your way to um
Mm.
kill animals or eat animals.
Okay, if that is okay, you're asking, correct?
Yeah. What is
Yeah.
considered acceptable or
I
like
understand.
unacceptable?
Very honest question, and I appreciate. Very honest question. Yeah. So okay, so I will just make you read. Mm. Yeah, there are 5 kinds of sin. Okay, I'll just read it. I'll just try to find out. Hmm. You read this?
Right. Though we may live very carefully, trying to avoid sins and strictly follow the path of non-violence, still our lives are controlled by the cycle of karmic reactions. Hence, unwittingly, we are forced to commit many kinds of sin. We commit so many sins in business transactions, common human dealings, daily chores, and especially political and administrative activities. It is fine to vociferously support nonviolence, but in actual life, one is compelled to commit acts of violence. One may succeed in avoiding many kinds of sin, but it is impossible to escape committing the 5 great sins called pankasuna.
Panchasuna. Yeah. We'll just,
Panchasuna.
yeah, we'll just
While
record
walking
it.
on the street, we may crush many ants to death against our wishes. While cleaning house, we may squash many insects to death. While grinding food grains, or lighting a fire, we may destroy many tiny lives. In this way, while executing our ordinary daily chores, we are forced to commit violence and take many innocent lives. Willingly or unwillingly, we commit sins. Thus, when a religion fabricated by the human brain prompts one to embrace the path of nonviolence for its own sake, and inevitably gives advantage to one and difficulty to another.
Yeah, yeah.
It is impossible to be exempted from the adversities caused by mentally concocted beliefs. According to man-made laws, if one person murders another, he is condemned to the gallows, but no action is taken against a man for killing animals. Such is not the law of providence. The law of God is such that it punishes the killers of both man and animals. Both acts of murder are penalized. The atheists deny the existence of God because in this way they think they can commit sins unhindered. But all revealed authorized scriptures say that by killing innocent creatures, the householders commit many sins willingly or unwillingly while performing their normal daily activities. To get released from these sins, the householders are enjoined to perform certain sacrifices. Foremost of these is to eat and honor the remnants of food offered to Lord Vishnu. As for those selfish householders who cook food only for their own sensual pleasure and not for the service of Lord Vishnu, they have to suffer all the sinful reactions incurred while cooking and eating. This is the law of providence. Therefore, to get rid of these sins, the followers of the Vedic religion dedicate their household activities to Lord Vishnu's service.
So when we calling about Vishnu, Vishnu means one is all pervading. Who is all pervading? God is all pervading. So one of the name of God is also Vishnu. He is referred to as Vishnu also. Yeah.
Um, should I
Yeah,
continue?
just
The leaders of society are therefore advised to perform devotional service for Lord Vishnu's satisfaction, both for their own benefit and for the benefit of those they lead. As Lord Krishna says to um,
yeah.
Sri Arjuna in the Bhagavad Gita, whatever action a great man performs, common men follow, and whatever standards he sets by exemplary acts, all the world pursues. Because everyone follows their example, the leaders are required to carefully study the process of devotional service to Lord Vishnu. This is their duty. Thus, for the benefit of human society, there's a great need to construct universities that will impart knowledge of devotional service. Alas, the
Mm.
times are such that those who are considered leaders and stalwarts of society are more viciously inimical to God than others. Therefore, what devotional service for Lord Vishnu's satisfaction can they perform when they cannot perform devotional service? And how will they gain release from their innumerable sins? The stalwarts of society are not willing to declare that Lord Vishnu is the omnipresent absolute truth and that he is all pervasive due to his being both the person as well as formless. And what can the man on the street, understand about this esoteric subject matter? Supreme Lord is the sole proprietor of everything. We cannot take the position of the enjoyer and proprietor of this material world, whatever the Supreme Lord mercifully gives us as his remnants, that alone should we accept. We must never desire another's property, as the Upanishad states.
Okay.
Everything, yeah.
Yeah. We'll just stop here for, yeah. So, uh,
But the sinful methods used to acquire these temporary material advantages will beget results, which will then very subtly mix with their subtle body, namely mind, intelligence, and false ego. And these results will later become the seeds of further sinful activities, which will entangle the soul in the cycle of karmic reactions, birth after birth, forcing him to go through many different species of life.
yeah. So now I'll just give a little comment on this, what your question originally was. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So, so the point is that there are certain sins which are committed in our course of activities, like sins committed by itching, sins committed by rubbing, sins committed by starting a fire, sins committed by pouring water on a pot, sins committed by cleaning the house. You know, like 5 kinds of sins are committed. Even if you do not commit any intentional sins, we have to commit the above 5 kinds of sin without a shadow of a doubt. So there is a difference between intentional sin and the sins which are committed in the course of our action, you know, and their list is mentioned already. This list is there, you know. So you don't intentionally do that, but it happens. So what is telling that? So yeah, so even if we do not commit any intentional sins, we have to commit the above icon. So thus it is our duty to accept the remnants of offering made to Vishnu to escape the reactions of sinful actions committed unconsciously and unavoidably. So now the point is, uh, yeah. So for getting rid of these sinful reactions, one should simply perform devotional service. That means your life should be for the sake of service to God. Then unavoidable sins which you incur without even your intentions, unknowingly, you know, then those reactions God forgives, you know. But like say suppose somebody says, I don't kill chicken, I don't kill cow, I only eat. Somebody says like this. Like today one girl was asking me the same question from UMass Ahmed's college. She was asking that, you know, I mean, I was in India, I was not eating chicken, but now I eat. So, so am I not like, you know, am I punishable? She was asking like that. So I just told her, see, uh, you know, you may be innocently ignorant. You know, you may be thinking that, okay, I'm just only eating, you know, and you may be innocent about, okay, I'm just eating, I don't know, you know, maybe I'm not hurting anyone, I'm just eating. But the point is, your act of eating is facilitating the killing. So it is said, if anybody's, there are, you know, okay, how many types, how many people are involved? It's another, we can read for you. People involved. 6. Share this. Okay, I'm not getting it, but it says there are 6 kind of people, you know, who share the sin of, you know, an act of killing an animal. So the one who, you know, butchers, the animal, the one who purchases, one who carries the meat, one who sells it, one who eats it. All those people are involved in the sense. They all share the sense actually. Yeah, because all are it's like a team effort. Just like somebody makes a plan to attack somebody, and the person who gives money to him for attacking, the person who gets the money of the person who's attacked as a benefit, and he uses that money. So everybody shares the sinful reaction. Actually, they all share. They are shareholders of the same sin like that. So we may not know sometimes. We may be innocent. So okay, that may be a less reaction. And we when we know about just like somebody a thief. So okay, somebody is small boy. He steals. So he may get slapped from my mother. So this is some reaction he gets, right? But when he grows up, he knows everything, and then he's stealing. Then he'll be put in the jail. But somebody is police. He's supposed to protect the country, and he himself is stealing. Then he will get much more severe punishment. So those who are ignorant mass, they don't know the dharma, religious principles and all that. So they are also entitled for punishment. It's not like they're not, because ignorance is not excuse. Why it is like that? Because we are responsible for our being ignorant. Why we're ignorant? That means we haven't inquired about the truth. That is also our responsibility. Somebody says, I'm innocent. I write exam, but I did not get marks. Why should I be punished? I'm bereft of job. I'm bereft of why I'm punished. I'm innocent. I don't know anything. No, but you did not study. You're supposed to study. You have the ability. You did not use your ability. That's your punishment you have to get now. So ignorance is not excuse, because we have ability to be enlightened as human form of life. We have ability to be enlightened. So out of ignorance, if we do certain, we get involved in certain certain activities, which may be sinful. So that also we share the karma. We also share the reaction, and that's how the suffering comes to us also. So we have to consciously avoid certain involvement in those activities which is sinful, very grossly sinful, like that. And when we talk about certain sinful acts which happens, as you mentioned, like ants getting killed, some viruses getting killed because of our daily chores of action. So we should take care that we overall use our life for the purpose of serving God, loving God. So those kind of unintentional, unknowingly done sins is forgiven, because it is not intentionally done, and it is not ignorantly also done. You're aware, but you're helpless. You have to walk, you have to clean. But yes, a devotee of the Lord still is careful. Let's say you are walking, you are seeing some ants are there. You become aware of there's some ant, then you will be avoiding to kill them. So it's about your attitude. You don't even consciously want to kill an ant also, even though it may be unintentional. But you know that now I've seen the ants. Now I cannot walk like that. You have not seen that's understandable. Because I mean, it is actually kind of next to impossible to just always keep looking down and seeing any creature I'm killing, because they may be so small you can have to get microscope. So it may not be practical, right? So yeah, so those kind of, that's why it is listed in the these 5 kinds of activities called panchasuna activities. So those things are forgiven, provided when he is using his life for the sake of service to God. He is cooking the food and offers to God, and then he accepts as a prasad, as the remnants of the food, and that's how he gets purified of the sinful reaction, by taking the prasadam, where the food which is offered to the Lord. So that's how he gets rid of those reactions, right? But it is actually a wrong attitude to think, okay, I will kill an animal and I will do my service to God. That way it will nullify. No, it is not like that. No, because that doesn't come in that category. That is quite significant sin, because it can be known. When animal is killed, you are not like you can be aware of it. I mean, you can be made aware and you can avoid it. One can consciously avoid it. It's possible. So it's not doesn't come in that category. Does it make sense to you, Justin?
Sorry, what was the last thing you said? Something does not come in that category?
Yeah, if some gross animal is killed for the pleasure of the tongue, like Prabhupada writes here, right? Like I'll show you.
Did you say grass animal? Like,
Yeah, I'm saying the creature, you are able to quite clearly understand that he's getting killed. He's quite. He's not creature like ant or something. Yeah, like suppose somebody, I've heard like some people make like they get the ants and they make some kind of stuff, by killing the ants. They make some kind of stuff, some food. That is not allowed. that is intentional sin, right? That's not, that killing of an ants will actually be a very, very dangerous reaction. But what is being told is when you're walking, you have no intention, you have no idea that they were ants. You're just walking. You're trying to search out. I mean, you may be aware sometimes. You may want to avoid, but you don't know. So so it may be difficult for you. So you get reactions of that also, but you have to get purified by engaging in devotional service, by engaging in the service of God. That will be forgiven. But what I'm saying is, like certain animals, like consciously being killed, and you are involved in terms, we are involved in any of these sense, like purchasing, selling, eating, any of this, right? We may not be directly killing, but we also share the reaction. This is something very grossly seen animal getting killed, and we can be aware of it. Yes, but certain five things, what it is mentioned here, these are kind of unnoticeable. It's very difficult for you to even notice. So those five things are listed there. So that doesn't come in that category. The category of killing an animal, consciously getting an ants and killing, that is something a devotee will not do. The person who is cultivating God consciousness, he will avoid that. And even in those five chores also, he will be careful. Like you have to put water, clean the room. You will not clean such a way that you kill the maximum insects. You will not. You will see. If suppose ants are there, you will first broom it. You will broom it and take the ants away, and then you may want to pour. But still, some ants may get killed. So that is like unintentional. You will try your best to not unnecessarily harm any living creation. Does it make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Like here, Srila Prabhupada also writes, like he says, he says, see, indulgence in animal killing for the taste of the tongue is grossest kind of see. And at this point, it does not tolerate even an ants being killed. Yes, true. But the certain chores of activity, this is mentioned five kinds of activities, like it's washing the pot, washing the floor, walking. He's telling when you lit a fire, so you cannot avoid certain creatures getting killed. So then, but you should do all that as a service to God. Like means you clean your house as a service to God. You cook food as a service to God. You walk as an act of service to God. Then you only live for the purpose of God. And you also try to avoid that kind of violence as much as possible. Then you are forgiven. Is it understandable?
Yeah, that makes
It is,
sense.
yeah, it is to do with your attitude also. Yeah, like that. Like for example, I mean, like just coming in my mind. Let's say you're driving, and suddenly some creature comes, some kind of creature comes, and you have absolutely no mistake there. You're just driving, suddenly some creature comes and it just hits, and you're going, and you're going for service of God. I mean, your life is in service of God. So you're not murdering that creature, right? You're not killing it intentionally in this way, not for the pleasure of your tongue or something also. So at that time you can be forgiven. Yeah. Yeah, but it is not the license. Okay, I will just kill it. I'm anyway going for service of God, and then it's anyway killed. I can eat now. Oh my
Yeah,
God. Then you'll be entrapped. You cannot cheat the God. Because God knows subtleties, He knows subtle intentions of yours, He knows subtle attitudes of yours, ours. So we'll have to be, knowing the principle of non-violence, and see how we can very, aptly try to apply in our lives, without having any cheating propensity. Honestly, we should try to apply. And when there is discrepancies, any discrepancies, Lord forgives us. When we are engaged in His service, when we are trying to serve Him, when we are trying to offer food to Him, we lit fire for His pleasure, we work for His pleasure, we clean for His pleasure. When we have this kind of consciousness, so like that. Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. Any other reflection or questions on this purport?
Um, I, I think I'm good right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you're able to digest whatever is spoken?
I yeah, I think so. At least what's the gist of it, like the main points like
Hmm.
that.
Yeah. Correct. Yeah. Okay, good. Thank you, Justin, for your patient hearing and
Yeah,
good
thank
inputs.
you.
Yeah, I appreciate. So when we can meet next time?
Uh, I'd just say same, like just Saturday or sometime on the weekend, because
Okay,
yeah, I'm still kind of busy. Like
okay,
I my course load is kind of heavy, and I'm trying to apply to like med school. So
okay.
yeah,
No issues, no issues. So Justin, what we'll do, is that okay? We meet on, I mean, the same time, 5 o'clock next Saturday, because I'll be having session in the morning again, you know.
yeah,
So
that's fine.
not 5 o'clock, I think, yeah, we can meet at 5 then. Yeah. Okay, okay, that's good for me also. Then we can have some discussion. Okay, Justin, thank you.
Yeah, thank
Thank you
you.
so much for your patient hearing, and I truly
No
appreciate
problem.
your time. And I really, pray for you for your wonderful week coming ahead. You can put your
Yeah,
best efforts. Um, yeah. Okay. And this I do not want to send it. Okay, I will send it. You are in neuroscience, right? Justin?
yeah, I'm neuroscience.
Yeah. I met a guy. He's from neuroscience in first year of Harvard right now studying.
Um,
Yeah. He also took a book. He was showing it. He was from India actually, but born in America. Yeah. So he was a good guy. Yeah. Somehow he gave his number, but it's not working. But anyway, he was also quite interested. I remembered you. I told him I already have one, Justin with me, who is we are having some discussions every week. Um, anyway, I'm not able to contact him because his number somehow did not work further. But he was very interested, very interested. He was in neuroscience first year. Yeah, I think it's quite good subject. Neuroscience looks quite interesting.
yeah,
Something related to your brain and nerves and some kind of stimulus. I think it's quite interesting. You'd be working in some research field eventually, some kind of, you know,
I'm thinking of doing medical school.
okay,
Uh, Probably not, lab research.
okay, some kind of lab research you're looking for.
Oh, I mean, I don't think I will do lab research.
Mm-hmm.
And since I'm trying to do medical school, I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I might do some sort of clinical research, which is just related to patient records, um, and of course, disease research. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but we'll see.
Okay, so you may do research in Harvard itself or somewhere else.
Not sure.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I'm I'm thinking for my gap year, or my gap years, I'll probably do something clinical. So either something like uh, medical assistant or clinical assistant or clinical research coordinator. Um,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Okay, what is this gap year? I couldn't get actually. I'm sorry.
Oh, gap year. Yeah, just I'm I'm so gap year as in like the year before you apply for the year
Oh,
before
gap
you
year.
go to medical school
Okay, it's a gap
or
year.
another kind of school. Yeah.
Okay,
Um,
okay, okay. I got it. Fine. You're in your final. It's your final year, right? In the neuroscience.
yeah, I'm in my senior year. So
And
it,
when you're going to pass out, you're going to pass out next year.
huh?
When you're going to pass this neuro science, I mean your bachelor's degree.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to graduate this spring if everything goes well. We'll see. Yeah, hopefully.
Okay, if your grade's good, then you can graduate in the spring.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
okay. Spring means September around.
Oh, spring as in May.
Oh, okay. Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
I'm new to this country. I'm sorry.
right. All good, all good. Yeah,
Okay, so May. Okay, fine. And spring is, I mean, September is fall, I believe, right?
yeah. September is fall here.
Uh, Even this is called spring, right? The current thing going on.
Yeah. March to what is it? March to May is considered spring.
Oh, okay, okay,
September to November is considered fall.
okay. So you are graduating in the month of May.
Yeah, if everything goes well.
Okay, nice. It will go ahead. We
We'll
hope
see.
so.
Hopefully.
Okay. Okay, this thing, fine. Okay, Hare Krishna. Thank you so
Hare
much.
Krishna.
Hare
Thank you.
Krishna.
Have a great week.